earlier today. Are you able to unmute and introduce yourself, please? Maybe not. All right. So I want to thank each of you for being with us today. As Carrie Ann said in the video, we all need to step up, and by being here and the work that you're doing that has brought you here, clearly you are stepping up. And we invite you to join us in participating in Worldwide Climate and Justice Education Week during the first week of April to either or both organize events on your campus, in your community, and also to reach into your classroom and work directly with your students to show them that whether you're teaching about tropical biology or sociology or environment and health, that there is a role for your students to be um, learning about the climate situation, learning about climate justice and the ways that they can participate. And so um, one of the tools, of course, the teachers, educators, formal and informal need is the need to have curriculum, they need to have lesson plans, they need to have guides to help them, especially if they're not familiar and not confident in teaching about the climate crisis. So fortunately, there are some fabulous resources, and one of the best is the Climate and Energy Literacy and Awareness Network resource base. And there's a whole community, and as I learned this morning in the earlier presentation, a lot of support that is available for educators. So we are delighted to have Gina Fiorelli, I'm sorry,
Ureli
Desranlo,
Duranlo. It's really a hard name.
Duranlo, who is a program manager with Clean. And Gina is going to help us to walk through Clean and see how the community and the resource center can be of value to each of us in our educational efforts. So go ahead, Gina, and thank you again for being with us.
Thanks, David. Really nice meeting you all and hearing your introductions. It's good to know who's in the room and to be connected with you. Before I get started, per a suggestion from this morning, I'm gonna share a video to introduce you to our organization. And hopefully this works. Let me know. Someone give a shout if you can't hear it.
The Climate Literacy and Energy Awareness Network, or CLEAN, is a pioneer and leader in the field of climate change education. It was one of the first climate education efforts in the US and works closely with trusted agencies and organizations, including NOAA, NASA, NSF, and DOE. CLEAN supports climate and energy education through three main components. One, its educator and scientist reviewed database of educational resources. Two, a vibrant network of over 800 climate educators and scientists. And three, training and support for educators. Started in 2008, CLEAN has become a bedrock in climate education with over 70,000 website visits per month from educators across the country.
The CLEAN collection is a set of resources that I can trust. They're a set of resources that I have confidence in, that are easy to use. I can go to the CLEAN collection and put in search criteria and find what I'm looking for pretty quickly. There's enough variety there to where I can bring things together that might be pretty diverse and create a really interesting lesson or unit that sometimes surprises me how well it comes off.
CLEAN is well known and a trusted resource for educators of all levels. Educators look to CLEAN for resources, trainings, and background information. CLEAN contributes to important climate education efforts, such as the National Framework for K-12 Education, and has built relationships with leading teacher associations, including the National Science Teacher Association, the Open Educational Resource Commons, and many school districts to syndicate educational resources to their collections. The Webby Award-winning Clean Collection is an online database of 800 plus peer-reviewed, free, ready-to-use digital education resources that include learning activities, visualizations, videos, and short demonstrations and experiments. The Clean Collection is the go-to place for educators to find resources to support their teaching. Clean enables teaching about climate change mitigation and adaptation by providing resources on the causes, impacts, and solutions of climate change, as well as foundational climate and energy science. Each resource is peer-reviewed by educators and scientists for quality pedagogy and scientific accuracy, and aligned with the newest education standards. Users can search the collection for resources supporting taking action, online learning, cross-disciplinary anxiety, among others. The Vibrant Clean Network is a community of professionals committed to improving climate and energy literacy. Clean Network members meet for weekly video calls, engage in discussions through an email listserv, and host networking opportunities at climate change events. The network provides connections, learning opportunities, and social-emotional space for leaders to collaborate, negotiate, and discuss challenges and concerns with others in addressing climate change. Clean provides training and support for educators to implement clean resources with self-guided pages and professional development webinars, which promote climate science knowledge and climate teaching best practices. Clean provides a toolbox that equips teachers to teach the big ideas in climate and energy, provides culturally relevant teaching resources that weave the big ideas of climate with regional indigenous knowledges, aids educators who teach resistant audiences, aids teachers in addressing NGSS, and soon will provide resources to support climate anxiety and climate justice. Clean's Ambassador Train the Trainer program empowers teachers to spread the word about Clean at conferences and local professional development workshops by providing stipends for them to share ways they use Clean resources to teach about climate inspired action. Since 2012, Clean has been the official content provider for the Teaching Climate section of NOAA's climate.gov portal. Clean has contributed to and led many policy shifts in climate education. For example, Clean led the development of the Climate Literacy and Energy Principles Framework and provided guidance to incorporate climate into current U.S. standards. Most recently, the Clean Network provided the space and structure for conversations that led to the U.S. Action for Climate Empowerment Framework. Clean has been a thought leader in climate education and a backbone structure for national climate education efforts for over a decade. Clean has been at the center of climate education efforts since the field began, growing in demand and popularity, and many organizations identify Clean as a leader and knowledge source for climate education. Please follow us on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, or visit cleannet.org to join the Clean Network, search our educator resources, subscribe to our newsletter, suggest a resource, and to learn more about Clean.
Right, thank you, Gina. That's a great overview. Maybe we should just take questions.
I know.
But,
I know. I was
but
thinking
no,
that.
I know you have more details to provide to people. So go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, that is a very good quick summary of our main pieces of Clean. And just pull up my slides here. Okay, does that look good?
Yep.
So yes, I am here speaking about the Climate Literacy and Energy Awareness Network, or CLEAN. I am Gina Fiorelli-Duranlo. I am the CLEAN program coordinator, and want to share with you a little bit about the resources that are available via CLEAN to use in your events and programming for the Worldwide Climate Justice Education Week. A little background about us, just for some context. We are a project within a environmental research institute, the Cooperative Institute for Research in Environmental Sciences. The logo is over here at the University of Colorado Boulder. So we are based in Colorado, although I work remotely from Vermont. And we are an organization that is grant funded and through our research institute. And we receive funding from multiple federal organizations. So US federal organizations, including NOAA, which is the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the National Science Foundation, and the Department of Energy, all in the US. So CLEAN's main claim to fame is this nationally renowned, award-winning online collection of about 1,000 high-quality, peer-reviewed climate and energy education resources. That is what I'm going to be speaking about first today, and that was covered in the video, as well as some of our teacher and classroom guidance support pages. And then at the end, I will talk about the CLEAN network. So first, we are going to talk about exploring the CLEAN collection. So mentioned briefly in the video, CLEAN was involved in the development and production of these climate literacy and energy literacy frameworks. These are guides that were developed by federal science agencies and NGOs in the United States that address the big ideas of climate and energy science. They really get at the fundamental core ideas of what it means to teach climate and energy literacy. So this is kind of the framework that CLEAN has worked around. And for any of the folks in the room who are maybe from the United States and are teachers, you may be familiar with the Next Generation Science Standards. And that is a set of science standards, again, that work at the national level that many science teachers have to adhere to in their classroom. It provides guidance on what topics and what core ideas science teachers need to be covering for different grade levels. So this definition of climate literacy, which is what we are trying to achieve, is applying problem system thinking and interdisciplinary approaches to solve climate change. And so, like I mentioned, this NGSS, the National Climate Standard, or Next Generation Science Standards, excuse me, are a big part of what's available to teachers. And I say that because all of our resources are aligned to these standards. So if you are a teacher in the United States, you can be rest assured that these standards that you are being asked to meet are much more attainable, given the fact that we have very specific outlines of how each resource can help you achieve these goals. I mentioned at the beginning, NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. They provide a lot of our funding for this program, and because of that, we are syndicated to their website, the climate.gov website that they manage, and it includes, so in syndicating to their website, you can find all of our resources also on climate.gov. So we're in 2 locations. They also have support pages, professional development, and a professional development calendar as well. So this is another important aspect of our work, is this partnership with the federal government. So the CLEAN collection, what is it? For a CLEAN resource to be selected, it must be community reviewed. It has to be classroom ready. So we have many resources that are just kind of plug and play. You can easily take them and put them into your existing curriculum, or develop curriculum around these resources. We have multiple steps in our review process where scientists and teachers review each resource and discuss them. They're curated completely online and free, so they are accessible to anyone with an internet connection. And they are aligned with these education frameworks that I mentioned earlier, and we have a really fantastic filter and search capability on our website that allows you to really drill down on a resource that might be best fit for what you're looking for. So what, oh,
We have a request in the chat for you to speak a little bit louder, please. Or maybe move a little closer
Okay.
to your speaker. Thanks.
I will. Yep, thank you for pointing that out. I will. What is valuable about CLEAN? Why are we bringing these resources together in a collection? Google for hurricane lesson plan. There are thousands and thousands of results. Can you hear me now? My internet is unstable.
No, it's good.
It's okay. All right.
Yep.
Yeah, so there are thousands of results when you search for a hurricane lesson plan on Google, and any science topic, you're going to find so many to sort through. And what's difficult about that as a teacher is that you don't know what is scientifically accurate. You don't know if it's a resource that you might enjoy teaching. You don't know if it's going to be particularly engaging for students. So it's very overwhelming for teachers to sort through all of this and to try to figure out what exactly is appropriate for their classroom. With CLEAN, we take the guesswork out of that. So major benefit of CLEAN is that we have about 1,000 climate and energy topics in our collection, and you can pick which topic you want. Again, for example, hurricane, if you search hurricane, and you want to develop a lesson plan around that, you'll have closer to 37 matches that are all going to be much higher quality than what you might find if you just searched yourself on Google. And this is really why. This is a very long, confusing graphic about our review process. There are a lot of teaching resources out there, and they are not always necessarily going to be quality. Folks have really good intentions sometimes about building classroom resources, but don't always have the most student engaging results. So this ensures that that each resource on CLEAN is scientifically accurate and that it is approved by a teacher, and it is something that a teacher would want to teach.
No, don't worry. So unaona hii niko na revise kesho. Kesho tena naweza produce ingine. Niko tuna several copies.
Okay. So just quickly, I will start over here on the left. So we pull resources from, again, some United States federal agencies, some organizations, and folks either suggest resources to us, or there are also many times where the CLEAN staff will come across resources ourselves, and we input them into this review system. Now, this is when we look at them ourselves as the CLEAN staff, and we decide it may or may not be a good fit for our collection. If we decide that they are, we will first have a science specialist and a teacher review those at the same time, and that in that process they are making sure that the resource is quality and providing feedback on how exactly this resource could fit into the classroom. After that, we actually have a meeting where we come together with these reviewers, the science and teacher reviewers, and have discussions and talk about each resource individually, and decide if they would be a good fit. After that, we have a science expert review the resource just for a extra layer of assurance. This is someone who holds a PhD or a higher education degree in the science topic. After that, we catalog, add annotations, assign standards, and post to our website, and then they are available on the Clean website. And after this whole process, and throughout it, we're constantly analyzing what gaps and thin spots, what audiences are we not reaching with these resources, what topics are kind of being forgotten, how can we expand and improve our collection. So what does a clean resource look like? This is a screenshot of one of the Clean resource pages. And so what we have up here is the title and the link to the actual resource. This is a short description. And then this is really, really valuable. These are the notes from our reviewers that have gone through multiple iterations. So you have tips about teaching and about the pedagogy, and then also tips about the science and technical details. And you will, again, not get this when you search any for any resources on Google. As well, here are our tags. When I mentioned the filter and search criteria, you can filter for grade level, you can filter for topics. We have a filter for our literacy principles. We just added a filter for diversity, equity, inclusion principles. And we also have a regional focus. I know many of you are outside of the United States, so you can filter for specific continents and specific countries. I want to point out that we have multiple different resource types. These are not just activities, they are also videos and visualizations. We have multiple grade levels. Clean originally focused mostly on the middle and high school levels, and we recently expanded into the younger grade levels. So now we are have resources for elementary classrooms. And I know many of you are college, work in college settings and university settings. So we also have quite a few higher education resources and informal resources. If you work at a museum or a science center, those are also a really good fit. So next, I want to talk about our teaching guidance pages, which are on kind of the second tab on our website here. So this is what our teaching guidance and teaching about climate and energy page looks like. You can view the teaching climate and teaching energy principles, those educational frameworks that I was speaking about in the beginning. Those are viewed here, and we actually have them translated into Spanish as well. And then beyond that, we have some other guidance pages. Like I mentioned, we are expanding into the elementary classroom for our younger audiences, and we have guidance about that, guidance about teaching culturally relevant in the classroom, and an educator toolbox with even more guidance that is relevant to the different situations you might encounter in a classroom. So this is an overview of what the climate and energy principles pages looks like. So if I go back actually. So when I mentioned these teaching climate and teaching energy guides right here, you click on that, this is what you're going to get. So it outlines the principle, and remember, these are the core foundational ideas of teaching about climate and energy. So if you're really new to this topic and don't really know where to start, this is a really good place to, again, get that foundational knowledge. So we explain what the principle is, and then also you can see down here, we have suggested activities and resources for teaching about this principle. And again, as you can see, we have the different grade levels here, depending on what age and audience you are teaching. Beyond that, I want to highlight our educator toolbox. We have some really fantastic things in here. We have curriculum guides, again, those educational frameworks that I was mentioning. We have very specific examples of units that you can use and create to talk about certain topics. And in addition to that, we have professional development webinars. We have those ongoing, but then also have recordings of all of our past webinars. And actually, if you are a teacher who needs professional development credit, if you attend one of the webinars, we can give you credit for attending. I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with the National Climate Assessment, but that is a really big report that comes out in the United States regularly that analyzes what the state of climate impacts are in the country. And so that's a really big thing for climate leaders in the US. And so we also take that information and align our resources to the findings of the National Climate Assessment and dig into that a little bit. And that's something that we're actually updating right now. So I just wanted to highlight that. That's a really good and interesting place to start as well. We have an educator newsflash. You can sign up for our newsletter on this page. And it's a monthly newsletter that connects clean resources to current events and topics. And then we also have some other guidance pages that talk about really important challenges or issues you might face in the classroom. One about online teaching, one about the elementary classrooms that I mentioned. And then also we have guidance on how to manage controversy in the classroom. You know, you might not always be speaking to an audience that's super open to the topic of climate change and might be a little bit hostile towards it. So this is a really good resource if you want to figure out how to manage that tension that you might be facing. A really exciting other page I want to highlight that's new for us is a mental health page. That really fantastic video that Carrie Ann shared in the beginning from the Worldwide Teach-In. You can see a lot of young people who are expressing concern and maybe some anxiety about the climate crisis. And this is something that is very widespread. If you work in climate change, you know that this is a concern for a lot of people, this anxiety that they have. So we have seen that need and are developing resource guides on how to address and support mental health of students. We also just released an activity guide where we reviewed resources for the classroom that specifically help you talk about mental health and climate change in your classroom. So definitely check that out. This is just a little overview to dive deeper into the professional development that I mentioned. We have webinars that occur every semester, and then we also have a fantastic archive that you can view at any time. And all of these webinars go a little bit deeper into how to use these resources for all different types of situations. Again, managing controversy, climate change and mental health, elementary classrooms, that type of thing. And then of course, our newsflash just again helps you stay updated and be a little bit better connected to some of the teacher resources that are out there. And the last bit of our organization that I wanted to share with you that I'm really passionate about, this is what I work most closely on, is the CLEAN network. So this is this third tab over here. It says get involved. Clean Network is probably the best way to get involved and stay in touch with Clean. So our network is a community of practice that's very vibrant of climate and energy education professionals who come together and share ideas and challenges. Now, we have weekly teleconferences via Zoom every Tuesday at 1:00 p.m. Eastern US time. And really, they're very similar to these meetings that we're having now. I will have presentations, informal discussions, announcements, just discuss challenges and opportunities. And in fact, David was at our most recent Clean call discussing the worldwide teach-in. So that was really fantastic. And we have those every single week, and everyone and anyone is welcome to join and encouraged to attend. We also have this really vibrant listserv, which is a active email list of about 800 members of totally diverse and various backgrounds, educators, scientists, government agency representatives, leaders, science education professionals, that type of thing. So if you have an idea that you want to share, an event you want to promote, you're looking for a resource about something specific, we really encourage you to join that listserv and ask questions and start dialogues as well. So there are many ways to get involved with Clean. As I just mentioned, joining the network is a really big piece of our community and what we love to do in connecting people. I mentioned our newsflash. We have we have two news flashes. One is more geared toward educators that I mentioned. It connects you with our resources, but then we also have a news flash for the members of our Clean Network, where we send out monthly reminders and updates about what's going on in the community. I mentioned our webinars. You can attend those or check out the archives. One really fantastic opportunity I haven't mentioned yet is that we have a teacher ambassador program. So if you are using Clean resources in your classroom, we actually will support teachers to go to regional conferences and professional development conference opportunities to talk about Clean, and we will provide stipends and funding for their registration fees. So it's kind of a win-win. And we really like to support teachers to go out and network and spread the good news about Clean. So check that out if you are a teacher in the United States. I encourage you to follow us on social media. We have a Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I manage our social media, so I am always very excited to have new followers. Please feel free to tag us in anything. I really like engaging with other accounts on these platforms, and I'm always open to cross-promoting. And then up here in this corner, we have a section where you can suggest a resource. So we do have about 1,000 resources in our collection, and they go through that rigorous review process, and we're always looking for more resources to go into our collection. So if you know something that you think might be a good fit, feel free to suggest it here. And then one thing that is kind of like a take home is just to use Clean resources in your classroom. We have this fantastic collection, we have our guidance pages, and we have the educator toolbox that you can use. Like I said, here are our social media handles. We are so excited to always cross-promote. You can add links to Clean resources on any teaching website you have. We, in addition to that, have this cool tool available called the Clean widget that you can add to your website that actually embeds the Clean search bar into any website, so folks can search the Clean collection from any website. And then feel free at any point to reach out to us via email about requesting a presentation for your school, for your classroom, for your organization. We're really just trying to get the word out about Clean. So this is our website and this is our email. Like I said, we're really excited to connect with folks and would really love to get this amazing resource into the hands of folks who can use it and would benefit from it. So I will stop talking now so we can have discussion. And thank you.
That's fabulous, Gina. And I just put your email address and website into the chat. And
Thank you.
one thing, and we'll take questions in a second, but I don't think you mentioned we have Alexander from Earth University in Costa Rica. Do you want to just comment on your resources in Spanish and some of the other languages you're thinking about?
Yeah, that's been a really exciting thing for us over the past couple of years. We've actually translated quite a few resources into Spanish, and many of our guidance pages are in Spanish. I can find the links for those and put those in the chats as well. We do quarterly analytics with Google and do have quite a few Spanish speaking countries that access our website. So we're very excited about that.
Great. So Alexander, did you want to ask any questions or make comments?
Well, not really. I am really happy to see this presentation again, and I now I get a little bit confused because I saw there Colorado University, but well, that made me feel happy that the initiative is growing and many people is taking part.
Mhm.
And I hope and I really expect this year to take part again to do something we relate with the topic that you proposed for this year. But I want to be more active with you working with this initiative.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, I look forward to that. Yeah. Yeah. And just to clarify, so the the Worldwide Climate and Justice Education Week that you were involved in through OSIN 4 years ago is continuing through Bard College. And then one of our partners is this Clean Network that Gina presented, and they are headquartered at the University of Colorado.
Okay. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, but we're all one big global community. We have you from Costa Rica, we have João from Portugal, we have Aisha from Nigeria, we have some others from other parts of the U.S. And so this is our goal, is to be working together as collaborators and climate and sustainability educators.
Great.
So are there other questions for Gina?
Yes, I'd like to say something. It's not a question, but it's more a comment because I'm from a Portuguese language country. So and I have a specific problem because I teach with secondary school students, but I'm not teacher from English. I'm from geography, so I can't use resources in English, unfortunately. But of course they can be very useful, and I found them very interesting for me. Of course, I can do that. I can use them, and they are. I think they can be very, very useful, not just in a scientific point of view, but also in a pedagogic view. No, they can be very interesting for me. But it's not possible, of course, to have them. I think you have them in some of the tools in Spanish, no? But in Portuguese, it's not possible, no?
Yeah. Yes. Unfortunately, and we are limited by the funding we have at times, and we would love to translate into more languages. We were thinking about taking on French next, but that's not Portuguese, I know.
Yeah.
So, I think it might still be beneficial if you wanted to join our network in case that changes, and we would send updates about that. But
No, I became very motivated to take part of your network. And I think because at university I teach two matters that can be combined, and I use them also for the younger students because I teach geography of development at university. So I teach the questions of the unequal resources and unequal opportunities of development related also with natural catastrophes in poorest countries, and also I teach climatology at universities. So I think I have that privilege, no? And also I can many times I use the examples with younger students, and your resources, I think they can be very useful. They can be great for that.
yeah, this is actually making me think of another update I forgot to mention. I know you teach geography, and one issue that we've had in the past is that our resources are very science focused, and as we know, climate change is not just a science issue. It touches all subjects, all topics. So we are actually expanding into doing more cross-disciplinary work and having more resources for English classrooms, for math classrooms, just for different subjects, because you know, it's not just science that we want to talk about. We want to expand into other subjects. So we actually just got funding to expand on that a little bit. So in the next year, it'll be more subjects.
I found the questions about healthcare and healthcare problems, they are also related with questions of the consequences, and of course the consequences in poor countries are different from, for instance, United States. No.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and that's actually that's a great introduction to me talking about our upcoming webinars, because next week we're going to have people from the American Public Health Association talking about the connection between climate and health and how to teach about that, and introducing a toolkit that they have about climate and health, including mental health. So that's next week. And then the following week, the 14th of February, Valentine's Day, we will have some of our other content partners who have created a teaching calendar for Earth Month for April. So each day of April, there is a theme, and then there's a link to curricular resources at different levels. And that'll be on the 14th. Then the 21st, Gina had on her slides about teaching about climate change in controversial areas. We'll have a session on how to teach about climate when sort of a difficult political environment where people may not be pleased to have you teaching about climate justice. Bless you, Gina. And then on the 28th of February, we're going to be have a film production company introducing films under a series called Wild Hope that will be available free with curricular guides for use in teaching. So that's what's coming up. Are there additional questions or comments for Gina before we adjourn here?
Well, I want to thank you for the presentation. It was enlightening and inspiring, and I look forward to learning more about CLEAN and using the resources. So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks everyone for listening and for being engaged. Definitely, like I said, reach out with any questions or comments. We're always trying to get these resources into the hands of folks that can use them. So yeah, thank you.
All right, well, with that, let's again thank Gina. And this was great. Yeah, great resources, great community, great presentation, and fabulous opportunities for each of us. So we will conclude there. Carrie Ann, you can stop the recording, please.